Hello friends, welcome to ELS English Literature Studies with Gaur Harpreet. Today we'll discuss Ode on Melancholy by John Keats. Friends, Ode on Melancholy was written by the British romantic poet John Keats. It is one of the five odes John Keats composed in 1819. This ode is considered to be among his best work. Ode on Melancholy has a couple of specific literary influences to consider. The first of these was one of Keats' favorite and most reread books, Robert Burton's The Anatomy of Melancholy, which was first published in 1621, and Keats reread it because it was kind of medical textbook on the subject of melancholy, right? John Keats. John Keats is a romantic poet who wrote odes. Now, what is an ode? An ode is a type of lyrical stanza, not typical stanza. It is a lyrical stanza. English odes are lyrical stanzas dedicated to someone or something that captures the poet's interest or also serves as an inspiration. The odes are Keats' most distinctive poetic achievement. The odes are perfect specimens of his artistry, right? His love of fine phrases, his power of word painting, his use of sensuous epithets, his music, his melody, every aspect of his art finds a rich and full expression in his odes. The odes of Keats are his most distinctive poetic achievement. They are essentially lyrical meditations on some object or quality that prompts the poet to confront the conflicting impulses of his inner being and also reflect upon his own longings and their relations to the wider world around him, right? The underlying mood of this particular ode on melancholy, is completely sadness, dejection, and indecision. In his earlier odes like The Grecian Urn and The Nightingale, Keats had tried to escape for some time the reality and he enjoys beauty, right? The means to this was, we can say, self forgetfulness and absorption in another image. But now, John Keats, he does not evade melancholy, but he prepares himself to face both the aspects of life with complete serenity, right? Now, friends, let us talk about main thought in the poem Ode on Melancholy. The main thought in the poem is that the transience of beauty, human emotions, and melancholy are the major themes underlined in this particular poem. Throughout the poem, the speaker develops the idea that pain and sadness are unavoidable. True melancholy lies not in the sad and ugly things of life, not in the death or the accompaniments of death, but in everything that is beautiful and joyful, right? Now let us talk about historical context also. When and why these odes were written in a dejected mood, or what happened to Keats that he wrote odes. Friends, John Keats wrote this poem not long after the American Revolution of 1776 and the French Revolution in 1789, which we can say which facilitated Napoleon's rise to power, right? The early 19th century can be considered a period during which people rethought, yes, rethought the way that individuals relate to society. And the influential poet, or we can say influential critic at that time, particularly William Wordsworth, he was particularly interested in the idea of civil liberties, though he became more conservative as he grew older, right? John Keats, he certainly faced more difficulties rather than bad luck during his lifetime. He had already lost both parents and an infant brother. He also struggled financially throughout his life and he was frequently the subject of scorn from the literary these establishments. Indeed, the odes were written during a period when John Keats thought he would soon be ceasing with his writing life. Friends, coming to the development of thought, John Keats presents his thought in a very coherent and logical way. There is, we can say, there is richness of thought as well as maturity of vision. If one comes to find true melancholy, the very spirit of gloom and dark shadows, it should not be found in the objects which are associated with death, which are associated with disease and sadness. Melancholy cannot be found through forgetfulness or poisonous drugs. The bird of death has nothing to do with melancholy. These things will dull the edge of melancholy. John Keats asserts that the melancholy fit is a natural and spontaneous affair. It falls like the showers from the clouds that foster flowers and cover the hillside with greenery, right? Similarly, your sorrow should be nourished by the beauty of the rose, the colorful rainbow, and the rich anger of the beloved. The more anger he shows, the more beautiful she looks. Melancholy, according to John Keats, melancholy lives with beauty, and beauty is short lived. She lives with joy, who is transitory and seemed to be saying goodbye all the time. Melancholy lives with pleasures because they soon turn into painful memories. The goddess of melancholy lives in the very temple of delight, but only those who have very sensitive souls can enjoy the pleasures of life which bring melancholy in their trail. The soul of such a person will hang like a trophy in the temple of goddess. So friends, this is about the poem in brief. If you want explanation of this poem line by line, you can comment me in the comment section. Then I will give its line by line explanation also, right? Today I have discussed only development of thought, what is the main idea, what is the historical context, main idea, and development of thought. So I hope you will like this lecture, and if you like it, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe my channel. Thanks a lot for watching.